On the sixth day of Christmas, my true love gave to me six geese a-laying. Let's talk about six geese a-laying, laying down some truths and some information about morality clauses and new partners during a divorce with children. During a divorce with children, you have a lot of decisions to make as you're preparing your agreed final decree of divorce. Some of those decisions involve what's going to happen when you have new romantic partners in the future. And this is a really hard thing to deal with because so much of facing co-parenting with an ex-spouse involves letting go of control, which is so hard because we all love our kids so much and we're used to being part of all of the decisions about them, most likely. But in a divorce action, it's time to let go of some of that control because whether it's 30% of the time, 50% of the time, the ex-spouse is going to have possession of those children. And you're going to have to trust to some extent that they're going to use good judgment. And this includes good judgment around new romantic partners. Most likely you'll start dating. Now, we do recommend that with divorce with children and in any divorce action, you seriously consider waiting until the divorce is finalized before you bring an official new partner into your life for so many reasons. And one of those big reasons is that the children need time to adjust to the divorce and adjust to their new reality. So whether you decide to wait 3 months or 6 months, that's just something to think about. And if you're on good enough terms with your soon to be ex-spouse to talk about that, that's a great thing to discuss. However, there is also something that can be introduced into a decree of divorce that's called a morality clause. And this generally states that no unrelated person, so no new romantic partner, will stay in the house between certain hours of the night, whether that's 10 to 7 or, something like that. Now, the issue here is that if you include this in black and white writing in your divorce decree, it will most likely apply to both of you. So it will apply to you as well as your soon-to-be ex-spouse. And it will last until all of your children are 18. And that's a big ask because you might want to get remarried, that your ex-spouse might want to get remarried. And if you lock yourself into a morality clause, you have an issue there. What we would recommend instead is perhaps talking to your soon-to-be ex-spouse about perhaps, waiting the 6 months to introduce children and not putting that in writing necessarily, but just agreeing to it. Because again, the morality clause is extremely restrictive and difficult to work around if it's put in writing. So please consider that when you're thinking about new partners and think about how we can't control what our ex-spouse does, but we can trust that they'll use good judgment around the children and that the children will adjust to having a new partner in the house and maybe even having a step parent. It is the new reality and it will be a difficult adjustment at times, but I'm confident that you and your ex-spouse can navigate this and that you'll be just fine with new romantic partners. Happy holidays.